I'm gonna take you through the most important features of a robot vacuum that also has a mop. Now, these are things that honestly I didn't even think of before I bought these, but now having them, it's things that I would consider if I was to tell my friend to buy a mop or just if I needed to buy a new one.
Hi, I'm Hannah. I'm a mom of 3 kids who taught herself how to DIY, and I'm here to show you how to make your house beautiful and function great for your family.
As a mom of 3 small kids, I am more than qualified to talk about why you need a robot vacuum plus mop. It has totally changed the way that I clean my house and also interact with my kids. So today's video is a buying guide if you're in the market for a robot mop plus vacuum. I'm gonna take you through all the different things that you should think about when buying one of these. I have 2 different robot mop and vacuums. One's high-end and one's low-end. So I'm gonna take you through the different type of features they each have so you can pick the one that's right for your family. I also want to show you the scale of these two because if you're in a smaller home, this might be better for you. This takes up a lot of space, my Narwal, but it's because of the water, right? So let me show you the difference in all the different features, just comparing them side by side. Both of these can vacuum, right? And they both have these little arms that stick up and they kind of like collect all the stuff, but the strength at which they vacuum and actually the efficiency of vacuuming is very different on them. These are the arms that actually vacuum up. So on the Narwal, it's got 2 arms, whereas on the ZWCA, it has 3. So this one actually has more arms, and I think that's because it doesn't have as big of a like section here to collect all the dust. The Narwal also has like this really big section where it vacuums up. Oh my gosh, I have to clean this. But it's got a really big section for vacuuming. This is kind of like, you know, like on your Dyson or any other type of vacuum, you know, this spins while it vacuums. Whereas this does not, it just has like a section. If you compare the size of the wheels, it doesn't look maybe that different, but the Narwhals are much bigger than this. They both have the grip, but that one is way smaller. So my Narwhal I use in my main area because I've got a kitchen and dining room. And remember, I have 3 kids, so we have a lot of crumbs. Whenever I turn the Narwhal on, I find that it picks up like 98% of the crumbs. Like there is nothing left over unless it's like too big to fit in to it. Like it doesn't really happen. And that's why I keep my ZWCA upstairs because it's not a great vacuum. Like it does vacuum up, but you're not gonna get to like that 100%. I would say in terms of like actually sweeping up everything, it probably gets to about 75%, which is still good enough for me because it's upstairs and then I just run it every day. And I don't have a lot of like debris and dust in my house anyways. Now the mop on these is one of the biggest differences. On my Narwhal, we have the mopping pads and they're 2 pads that actually spin. So imagine you have a spin mop, and when you use a spin mop, you're actually using like a round mopping motion, and then you're actually using like a cleaning solution and clean water, and you're getting rid of the dirty water before you continue mopping. And that's exactly what the Narwhal does. It has the clean water, and then when it's done mopping, it goes and dispenses all the dirty water back into its station. Now the ZWCA, it doesn't do that. It has one small container. There is no solution in it. I guess you could add some type of like mopping solution. I haven't because I'm worried that it might ruin something inside of it. The Narwhal actually cleans its mopping pads by itself. When it's done mopping, it will go back to its base and it'll say, now cleaning the mopping pads. And so it's actually cleaning them so that next time it's not as dirty, so you're not mopping with like a dirty mop next time. Also for the ZWCA, you need to wet the mopping pad every time. So like it'll dry up in like a day or 2, right? Especially in the summertime or if you have a very dry house. So it's just like another kind of like thing you need to think about. If you're not gonna be mopping every day, it's fine, right? Just something to think about whether like, if you really wanna automate your mopping, you're not gonna be able to do that on the ZWCA. The water tank on both of these is a really different size. So on the Narwhal, the water tank is huge. I think it's like, I have to actually check, hold on. Okay, this one, it doesn't say how big the water tank is, but you can fill it all the way to the top and you can see how big this is on the Narwhal and how small this is on the ZWCA. So if you need a really large area mopped, you're not gonna be able to do it with the smaller mop. The other thing is, of course, is the Narwhal will empty the dirty water, which I think is like so much more hygienic and I really like. So I need that definitely in my kitchen and dining room where my kids are like always dropping things. The size of the dust collection can vary as well from mop to mop. So this is my Narwhal, so it has a much bigger dust collection than the ZWCA. As you can see, like they're quite different. They both do a good job of collecting dust. They're really good at collecting dust. They go under all the sofas, under all the beds. But I just find that the Narwhal can collect like bigger chunks of food and crumbs. So the very most important thing that you need to realize is that some robot vacuums can map your room and some cannot. So the high-end one, like my Narwal, that can map a room, and that is really useful because you can tell it where to mop versus where to vacuum, which areas you don't want it to go on. Whereas like my low-end one, the ZWCA, that one does not map. Like, so it kind of goes through the room, it just feels out what's there and it'll kind of bump up against things, but I don't get 100% coverage if I don't have a map. Because when you have the mop that actually maps, it like goes through in the lines and it makes sure that it like mops or vacuums every single part of that room. Also on the ZWCA, if you want to do a room where there's a carpet and flooring, because it doesn't have the mapping functionality, it doesn't know where the carpet is and where the floor is. So it will kind of end up mopping and vacuuming everything unless you put a barrier up like around your carpet, right? And that's not really practical for a lot of people. Now, when it does mop the carpet, it doesn't get like soaking wet. It's just like a little bit wet. So for me, it's not like a huge issue. But like if you have a very expensive rug, that might be something to consider. So the other good thing about the Narwal is that it has the app that you can use, but it also has this that you can kind of swipe through. Most of the time I keep this on child safety lock because my kids think this is a toy, but you can also control what you do from here. So let's say, you know, I actually have the app on both my phone and my husband has it, but if you have my mom's staying over and she wants to set this to go, she could do it too. Personally, I definitely prefer having the vacuum that has the map, but also you have to realize that like that one is much more expensive, so it might be something that you're willing to trade off on. Okay, so this is Wally, and he's really good at knowing that there is a step here and he won't fall down. When we first got him, we actually had to like map him out, and he figured out that there's like a step here. So he has not fallen off the edge of my stairs. He's actually quite good. I thought that he would because he's inexpensive, but he has a really good sensor in him. Okay, in terms of thoroughness, the Narwal is the clear winner. It's really good at mopping because it's got the spin pads, and it also dispenses the dirty water. Now the ZWCA is a really good vacuum at a budget price point because you have to compare the prices as well. The Narwal is like $1,200 or more, whereas ZWCA ranges around the $250 range. So, you know, when you compare the two, you have to figure out like what's in your budget and what's really important to you. Now for me, I actually like having the ZWCA upstairs. I actually don't think I would need a Narwal upstairs because we don't eat upstairs, we don't take our food upstairs, so therefore we don't have a lot of crumbs or like food spillage, like there's no ketchup on the floor. So that really works well in our house for us. But again, like just, it depends on your lifestyle. We don't have any pets either. So I think if you had pets, then you'd probably need a much more thorough vacuum on your upper level as well. But I hope this helps to clarify some of the things that you should be looking for or thinking about when you're buying a robot vacuum and mop. Like obviously it is an investment that you're gonna have in your house and you want it to last a really long time. Like you don't wanna spend money and then it breaks. So I've had my Narwal for like a year and a half and I haven't had any issues with it. I love it. The ZWCA I've had for about 2 months and I think it's really great for a budget vacuum if you don't have a lot of tough cleaning to do. If you have any other questions on these vacuums, make sure you drop them into the comments. And if there's other things that you'd like for me to review, I've got more vacuums, kitchen appliances, just let me know. I'm here to help you. I'll see you next time and we'll be doing more DIYs.